Hello, this is Alex Harker with the Morpheus team at HPE. Today we're talking about the OpenShift plugin for HPE Morpheus Enterprise software. It's delivered as an internally developed plugin which is freely distributed and easily added to the platform. Adding the plugin to the platform enables a new cluster type to be created, Red Hat OpenShift clusters. By integrating a cluster with the Morpheus UI, we add inventory synchronization for virtualized workloads provisioned outside of HPE Morpheus Enterprise, synchronization of storage and network objects as well as virtual images to enable new provisioning right from the Morpheus UI, high-level cluster and VM health monitoring, support for IPv4 and IPv6 networking, use of templates, IP pools, and service plans that you already have in HPE Morpheus Enterprise, use of the Morpheus automation engine for deployment and day 2 operations, and more. Adding a new cluster to the Morpheus UI is easy. After selecting Red Hat OpenShift cluster, I click Next. I select a group. I provide a name for the new cluster. And then I provide some basic configuration. All I need to add here is an API URL and a service token, as well as to choose whether or not I want any virtualized instances that are already running in the OpenShift cluster to be automatically onboarded into Morpheus. But rather than finishing this newly created cluster, let's take a look at a cluster that I've already provisioned. Clicking into a cluster that's already created, we can see the cluster detail. Here we can see lots of information that automatically gets synced into Morpheus on integration of the OpenShift cluster. And this is a two-way sync, so information is continually synced on an ongoing basis between the Morpheus UI and the OpenShift cluster. If we take a look at the Nodes tab, we can see all of the master and worker nodes that are working as part of the cluster. We can also click into any one of these if we wanted to see a node detail page. We can see a list of all currently running VMs. These could be VMs that we've provisioned from the Morpheus UI, or if we choose, they could be VMs that were provisioned in OpenShift but automatically synced into Morpheus. We can see all virtual images that are available to provision from, as well as any synced network objects and storage objects. So having seen many of the things that sync in from the cluster, let's now take a look at one other thing the plugin adds to HPE Morpheus Enterprise UI, and that's a new instance type specific to OpenShift for the provisioning wizard. So we go to Provisioning, Instances, and then click Add. And within the list of instance types, you'll see that we now have an OpenShift instance type, and this is added when we integrate the plugin with Morpheus, HPE Morpheus Enterprise UI. So I click Next, and then I provide a name for my instance. Click Next once again. And now on the configuration page, we add a number of configurations. So under Plan, you can see we have this plan calling for 2 CPU cores and 4 gigabytes of memory. That's a default plan that is included with the plugin, but using the Morpheus Plans and Pricing section of the UI, we can add as many additional plans as we might need. The resource pool identifies the specific cluster that we want to provision to. So if there are more than one OpenShift cluster in your environment, you'd select those from the resource pool. For volumes, the number and size of the volumes is specified here, and any data sources that are data stores that are synced from the cluster can be selected and targeted, though in this case I only synced in one data store. For networks, you can see network attached definitions that are synced in from the OpenShift cluster. These are shown with a namespace/NAD name format to make it easier to select one from an intended namespace. The images drop-down will show you all of the synced in virtual images from the OpenShift cluster, and this will sync in any relevant user custom images from OpenShift, but it will not sync in the large default catalog that comes with OpenShift, so that we don't clutter up this list with a number of default templates that you may not use often. And then finally we select a project, which is a namespace, and here we must choose a namespace that's compatible with the network previously selected. If we click Next through 2 additional pages, we will now be provisioning the brand new virtualized instance within OpenShift. So thanks for taking a look at the OpenShift plugin with me today. We saw the cluster detail page and the high-level information you can see about the cluster and the management options that you have for the cluster within there. And we also took a look at the provisioning wizard to see how new virtualized instances can be added to the OpenShift cluster. Thank you.